Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of gold and silver. We'll take a look at the dollar, 10-year yield, the precious metals, and then all the companies themselves, and I'll give you my financial opinion on these markets. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, check out my website. Platinum membership's the one I would sign up for if you want individual stock picks in which sectors I'm currently buying. But we'll dive in here. This is the dollar. The dollar is looking strong on a monthly candlestick basis. And what I mean by strong, it is relatively strong against other currencies. It is absolutely weak because of inflation. But relatively, it is being strong. It looks like it's trying to break out here for a move higher on a monthly candlestick basis. Looking at the dailies, we are still chugging higher. We do have a resistance line right above it. The resistance line is this guy coming across here. And we are entering, which could be a breakout move for the dollar in terms of other currencies, the relative strength, which means other currencies are more jacked up than ours and have higher rates of inflation. And we'll see if that's the case. I'm going to remain open. I'm going to watch what this dollar does. We've got the 10-year yield rocketing higher, another 1.13%. Again, if we were having this blowout deflationary crash, we'd see people running into bonds. We're seeing the opposite. We're seeing people running away from bonds. They're selling bonds. Or, I should say, people were always selling them, and now the Federal Reserve isn't buying them anymore. Perhaps that's the case. But we're getting selling pressure within bonds, and rates are going on up. You can see TLT. This is the iShares 20-plus year Treasury bond ETF. We've broken a critical level of support. I've got a potential breakdown like this, and this is not meant to be used as a perfect prediction. It's not to scale, but that we'd break to the downside like we did, that we'd break to the downside, come down a little bit, maybe do a retest move, and then head lower again, is a potential for bond values. So something on the lines of a breakout, a retest, and then a move down. Gold. Let's go to the dailies. Gold was rocketing higher, but it sold off throughout the day. Getting a little bit of a wick. We could see a little bit of a pullback. We could get a little bit of a return move before heading higher, which I would actually love because I'd like to get more mining stocks at a little bit lower prices if I can. Silver getting that little wick at the top, but we've got support right underneath it. The support runs across a whole bunch of trading zones and was used as support and resistance multiple times. So the 25-50 area, somewhere in that range, is a very strong support. So I don't think we'll break through it. I think we'll stay above it. This is a cheetah it's a cheetah resting on top of its support line. Platinum, a little bit better today. Yeah, it's got a little wick at the top too. I don't rule out little pullbacks, but you know what? Still looks good. We're sitting on top of patterns. XAU to gold ratio is back inside the pattern. All I can think of is that Jurassic Park movie where the truck falls into the tree, the guy falls down, they get out of the car, go to the bottom, and the car falls back on top of him. He's like, well, we're back in the truck again. Yeah, that's what we're at, back in the pattern again. Corona Resources getting a little bit of a sell-off. We could have a little bit of a pullback, kind of like this. We get a little pullback or two. Maybe we come back somewhere in there. EXK, a little bit of a sell-off. We could get a little bit of a pullback here. That's what this reversal day is today. FSM, and I'm sure most of these are all roughly the same. This does have a bearish engulfing. We could get a short-term pullback. SILJ bearish engulfing, short-term pullback with support right underneath it. So we'll see what happens there. GDX doesn't, not too bad there. Still in an uptrend. MMNGF just moving sideways for the most part. Koya Resources getting a little bit more sell-off. I do think this could potentially head a little bit lower. Discovery Silver, we're right at that resistance line. It's trying to break. It's turtle heading out just a teeny bit. We'll see if it if it can hold or if it's going to sell off tomorrow. AG does look like we're going to get a little bit of a pullback. It's a bearish engulfing pattern. We are sitting on top of this breakout line here inside of another larger pattern. Newmont, this guy's been cooking above its breakout. We do see a little bit of, we do see a little bit of a squeeze up where we might pull back down a little bit before heading higher. That's what, let me get a little bit better. So we could pull back here. It does look like that is the case. This is a rising wedge up to the upside. I mean, it's possible we break to the upside, but usually rising wedges break to the downside. So we'll see what happens there. Mag Silver getting some resistance right at resistance line. We may pull back a little bit. That's a bearish engulfing pattern. AUY, it's still looking okay. A little bit of selling pressure today. Impact Silver, ISVLF. It was up today, kind of a mixed bag with a lot of these companies. But that looks good to go sideways to higher. Aftermath Silver just moving sideways. We've got Arcana Silver Corporation moving sideways. PLG, bearish engulfing. We may have a little bit of a down day or two. Maybe we do kind of like a retest move and then a move higher. Something on the lines of that. Simonier Stillwater, this still looks good. It looks like we're putting in a pattern that could potentially head higher eventually. Sandstorm Gold, that one looks like we're going to pull back. That is a bearish engulfing of the day before it. Usually that's a reversal pattern to go a little bit lower in the short term. Franco-Nevada, again, we're sitting on top of the pattern. Looks good location-wise. EMX, this one I think was right underneath its resistance line that goes down across if it wants to show up here. There it is. And we're just above that line there. So we'll see if it can hold. Teuton Resources, TEUTF, another one that's just going sideways. If it decides to pull up, yeah, just moving sideways. Wheaton Precious Metals, another one, get a little bit more selling pressure. We could pull back a little bit in the short term. I do see a little bit of a squeezing. So we kind of broke through here. Yeah, we'll probably get a little bit of a pullback. Perhaps we pull back, do a retest, and move on up. Looking at Gold Royalty, it's just been sideways to higher, slightly moving up again. No real pattern in here. MTA, looks like we could head down a little bit lower here. A little bit lower. We do have a large bearish engulfing candlesticks here. So we'll see what happens. Mavericks Metals getting a little bit more bearish here. I'd say short term, got a little bit of a pullback coming. Royal Gold, that is a bearish candlestick. We could head a little bit lower in the short term. A Cisco Gold Royalty getting a little bit bearish engulfing. We could head lower in the short term. And Altius, this is more of a potash base metals. This actually looks really good to go higher. But that's what I've got for the gold and silver. Again, I like physical platinum. That's where my mind's at. I've been buying my 401k precious metals mutual fund. So whenever I get paid every 2 weeks, I just kind of cost average into that. And that's the one I've been going into just because, I'm hoping for a big move out of gold and silver at some point. Short term though, looks like we're getting a little bit of selling pressure. So I do think that we're going to pull back in the short term. Hopefully another buying opportunity. We're above all of the patterns. We're above all the patterns. Everything's still intact. I just think that we're going to get a short-term pullback before a move higher. It looks like that in the precious metals. It looks like that in the mining companies. You put the two together, short-term pullback is likely. Doesn't mean it's not 100%. Remember, these are all statistical probabilities. Nothing's 100%. Overall, big picture view, I'm a big bull to go higher. So I like seeing things when they come off their highs or they start pulling on back. That's when I engage buy mode again. I wait for it to pull back. If it pulls back, wait for that return move to go higher, and then I buy in again. And I'm pretty relentless. I keep jumping in on this stuff, and I don't give up because I think that the overall market conditions are there for a move higher. All right, guys, thumbs up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, platinum membership to the website. Would appreciate that. I will have potentially some training on technical analysis, and we're also doing our weekly Zoom calls. That continues to go on. So if that sounds interesting to you guys, if you want to be a part of a group, if you want to ride this bull market up with everybody, you can talk on the Discord channel that we have. It's all for the members. And we've got a lot of people asking lots of questions, sharing ideas, sharing stock picks. And, it's a good group. So we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.